Hello everyone, I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, February 10th. On today's show, Adrian Kerr concludes his series on Southeast Asia, talking about the mystical harbor of Hong Kong. Robyn Church will tell us how the Shell Point Salon and Spa can specifically help people with walkers. And we'll meet our 3 assisted living activity leaders who bring their enthusiasm to the harbor, the Springs, and Kings Crown. But first, let's get a preview of the week from Kara Manui at the news desk. Kara.
Thank you very much, Dan. We first want to make sure you know about this morning's event featuring the authors of Shell Point. Dozens of resident authors will be at the Resident Activity Center to discuss their books, answer questions, and offer signed copies. Our residents have written everything from fiction to memoirs to cookbooks, and you can find out about all of these books at the Gift Shop Author event happening this morning from 10 a.m. to noon at the Resident Activity Center on the island. And if you're really into books, then you should also mark February 26th on your calendar, because that's when the Shell Point Library holds its biggest used book sale to date. Everything from hardcovers to paperbacks to DVDs and music will be available, all for just $1 a piece. And if you've got old books you want to clear from your apartment shelves, here's the perfect opportunity. Bring them to the Shell Point Library so they can be included in the sale. Once again, the Shell Point Library's annual book sale takes place February 26th and 27th, so don't miss it. This week has another special significance. This Friday is Valentine's Day. Of course, at Shell Point, we celebrate that day like we do most special occasions, with food. Treat your loved one to the scrumptious choices at the Crystal Room, where their Friday buffet has been expanded to include lobster bisque, slow-roasted pork, beef braised with apple gremolata, and many other choices. They also have all-you-can-eat desserts with Cherry's Jubilee, red velvet cake, and chocolate-dipped strawberries. Live entertainment will round out your perfect Valentine's meal for an all-you-can-eat price of just $16.95. The Palm Grill will also have a special Valentine's menu on Friday with filet mignon, lamb chops, and crab cakes, plus Chef Todd's homemade desserts. You'll also enjoy the live jazz of saxophonist Dan Klamoski. Menu prices at the Palm Grill range from $17 to $28, and while they don't take reservations, you can call ahead the day of at 454-2059 to make sure you have a seat at the Palm Grill for Valentine's Day. Valentine's is also a day to show your true colors, that is, in your home. Is your interior design due for a refresher? Why not bring in an expert? Joanna Koch is a color guru, and she's sharing her expertise in 2 academy classes this Friday, one about understanding color and one about refreshing your living space. Sign up for one or both of these Friday classes by calling the Island Service Desk at 454-2282 or the Woodland Service Desk at 454-2054. Meanwhile, there's an academy event tomorrow with history professor Adrian Kerr. He's focusing on the mystical harbors of Hong Kong. This class begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Here's a preview.
Hi, I'm Teri Kollath, and I'm here today with Professor Adrian Kerr, and we're talking about a new way we're going to travel this semester through South Asia.
Yeah, hi, Teri. Nice to be here again. Yes, we're doing a series of talks on Southeast Asia.
Hong Kong is just so amazing to me. 426 square miles, 7 million people. What in the world? How do they do that?
Well, we have to go back a long, long way to the Ming Dynasty. And the Ming Dynasty, apart from making wonderful porcelain, was one of the most powerful dynasties and lasted for 200-300 years. Mm-hmm. And at the time, the Ming Dynasty was the #1 power in the world. And it's one of those ironies of history that they actually let it all drift away. It just drifted through their fingers. And the next 200 years is one of retrenchment, closing the borders, and in doing so, they just shut themselves off for what was the huge growth explosion in Northwest Europe, which we call the Industrial Revolution. And then this all came to a point when Lord Macartney visited from London to show the emperor of the Ming what the West could produce in terms of technology. And they took a bunch of scientists and crates of items like microscopes, like telescopes, all manner of modern equipment, how to make looms, silk looms, etc.
It must have just been unbelievable.
And it was unbelievable, and there's an opportunity that after 200 years of closure, they could have said, yeah, we'll have some of this, please. But the emperor considered Lord Macartney's proposal and looked at all these wonderful technological gadgets and came back the next day after consulting with his mandarins and said, quote, "China has no interest in your manufactured goods," and turned him away. 10 years later, they came back and tried again, and he said the same thing. So China closed its mind on the West, and so it lost big time in terms of the industrial development. And so we now wind forward to the middle of the 19th century, middle of the 19th century, when all the major powers not only were interested in entering China, but now had the guns and the boats and the arms to actually have an effect. And this huge population, largest population on the planet, and has been even today, was dominated by a couple of gunships and a few British sailors. And the Opium War, which we're going to talk about, resulted in Hong Kong, which at that time was just a scruffy piece of swampy island being given to the British under duress for their trading establishment. So from that swampy, uninhabited island with a few huts on it, the British influence got stronger and stronger and negotiated with the Chinese emperor. The next Opium War, they got some more land called the New Territories, and it was ceded to Britain. Hong Kong was ceded in perpetuity, but Hong Kong is a very small island. The New Territories in Kowloon, which was part of the mainland effectively, was ceded for a certain period. And then when that period was up, as we know, China patiently waited and waited and waited until the contract effectively ended, and they took it back again. And then what happened to Hong Kong after the communist regime took it back is a fascinating example of what China calls one country, two systems.
Interesting. Hong Kong, the rise of the dragon. Now join us Tuesday, September 11th, and Professor Adrian Kerr will be waiting to tell you about Hong Kong.
And now Dan is here with a word from the Shell Point Salon and Spa. Dan?
Thank you, Kara. Yes, all this month, our massage therapists have been extolling the virtues of massage at the Shell Point Salon and Spa. But did you know that they also help people with their posture and balance, even those who rely on walkers? Yes, there is a right and a wrong way to use a walker. And we're going to learn more about it now from licensed massage therapist Marianne Dabinett.
Hi, my name is Robyn, and I'm here in the Island Salon in the massage room with Marianne Dabinett. And we're going to talk about something that is very common that we see all the time here at Shell Point.
The walkers.
The walkers.
I'm sure they're instructed correctly how to use the walkers, but sometimes you forget and you get busy with your day, and especially if your certain muscles aren't strengthened, your back muscles, you can misuse the walker. So I'm just going to stand up and demonstrate. People are shown that your elbows are slightly bent. They're fitted. I'm sure they're fitted for the walkers originally from physical therapy, things like that. So they're shown this is how you stand with your walker. And you keep the walker in close enough, and you take nice steps, not too big, and you keep it in close. So what I have found that some people, they raise their shoulders up and straighten their elbows. So I see them walking like this. So now they've tightened all these muscles, they've raised their shoulders up, and they come into me with a lot of pain and discomfort in this area. Sure. And I don't know why they do it, but once something becomes a habit, it's that could be the reason why. So I show them the proper way. You want to relax your shoulders, and you want to have your elbows slightly bent. And that's the proper way to use your walker. Also, you want a nice grip on your walker, but you don't want an excessive hard grip, because if you're like this with your walker, you've just tightened all these muscles all the way up your neck. Okay. So that's very uncomfortable, and I think that causes them a lot of pain and discomfort, and I'm sure they don't know why. Sure. They're uncertain why. So a nice grip. Also, another time is I see them with the walkers way out here, and they're sort of running to catch up with the walkers. Oh, right. So and that causes a lot of pain in the lower back. So you want to bring it in, elbows slightly bent, shoulders relaxed, and you'll be pain-free. The body has what's called muscle memory. So even though you might change your behavior today, and you might go for a massage, and I might help you get things back in order, unless you practice it, be aware of it, go to the gym and really work those muscles, they're going to go right back.
I know you shared a really helpful tip with me one time about keeping my chin tucked.
Chin tuck. I actually learned years ago when I was in physical therapy. And chin tuck it all automatically puts things the way they should be, the best they can be. So you go from this, with the chin up like that maybe, and the stomach is, the abdomen, everything is sort of collapsed. Chin tuck, shoulders down and back. Not like this, but shoulders down and back. You want to open up the chest, the lungs, and then you do the slightly pull back down with the chin. And so you want to look to the horizon. You never want to be like this walking around. You want to always look at the horizon straight on. You think of a soldier, and that's how they look.
So those are a lot of great things to keep in mind. So when we're using our walker to be straight and have our elbows at our side,
slightly bent,
and a good grip, but not a death grip.
Right.
And to keep our chin slightly tucked, our shoulders down and back, and it just will let all that air come in and fill our lungs. And it will just help overall health and wellness. So thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you learned something. My name is Robyn Church, and this is Marianne Dabinett. And thank you for joining us here in the Island Salon Massage Room. Have a great day.
So, even if you have a walker and happen to get around slowly, Shell Point is designed to adapt to your pace of life. In fact, we have staff members who are experts in helping you have fun. Residents of the Arbor, the Springs, and Kings Crown enjoy their own dedicated activity leaders. And Inga Bredahl is here to introduce them.
Hello, my name is Inga Bredahl. I do the activities here at Shell Point in all 3 assisted living facilities. However, I could not do such a wonderful job if I did not have 3 fantastic activity coordinators that work with me. And together, the 4 of us have a lot of fun together. I'd like to introduce you to each of them today. The first one is Christy Greer. Christy is the activity coordinator at Kings Crown. Christy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I moved down to Florida last March. But before I moved here, I graduated from Ole Miss, so go Rebels. So that's about it.
And what is it that you like about your job at Kings Crown?
I love working at Kings Crown because I get to know so many different types of people and building relationships. But I really liked all the different activities we get to do. In August, we did a 50s sock hop at the Arbor, and we got to dress in poodle skirts, and the men wore Letterman jackets. We decorated like a diner, 50s diner, and it was a lot of fun. The residents danced, they sat and listened to live music, they enjoyed cookies that looked like little hamburgers and milkshakes and root beer floats, so it was a good time.
Okay, well next I'm going to introduce you to Skyler. Many of you probably already know Skyler. Skyler is the activity coordinator at the Springs, and she's been there for over a year now. Skyler, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I grew up out on Sanibel and then went away to college in North Carolina. Loved the seasons, but then I ended up back in the sunshine, and then I ended up here at Shell Point at the Springs, and I am very lucky to have my job. Every day is different. The residents keep me smiling, keep me going, and it truly is lots of fun.
Now, the nice thing about having a local girl is that we have a lot of residents at the Springs that are from Sanibel, so it's kind of a neat thing for the 2 of you to already have something in common, which I think is great. And what are some fun things that you like to do with the residents, and what's a special event that you enjoy?
Well, I love our daily sittercise because not only do they get their exercise, I get a little added exercise to start the day off. And we always have high attendance, and they just love it, so it's a great way to kickstart the day. But recently we did the Fall Festival out at our building, and it was just tons of fun. We had horse carriage rides, rides, tons of hay, tons of different games, music. It was so much fun. The weather was perfect. We dressed up. The residents even dressed up. It was a total hit.
You and Christy both had your cowboy boots on and the cowboy hats, and even some of the residents did as well. So it was a lot of fun, and it brought me back to memories of when I used to live in Indiana, and we had all the fall festive events. But anyway, our last but not least is Brianna Pill. Brianna is our newest activity coordinator, and she is from the Arbor. And we are very pleased to have her. And Brianna, welcome.
Thank you.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I just moved down here from Delaware, just right as I got this job, so I'm still very new to the area. But I went to school at Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, where it gets very cold, so I'm really enjoying the sunshine so far.
Now, you haven't had a lot of big events, but I know the residents have already fallen in love with you and think that you do such a great job. What are some things that you like to do with the residents?
Well, I was thinking probably part of the reason the residents like me is because I am so fond of them. Like, I love to just sit and talk with them, and in the Arbor, each floor has a kitchen, and so all the residents eat breakfast on their own floor, and I love to just go through and visit everybody and just see them in that relaxed atmosphere and just talk.
What are some other things that you like to do with the residents?
One of my favorite things we do is one of the residents I've gotten to know really well. His name is Bob. He sets up the Wii, and we do bowling and golf a couple times a week, and I always get beat, but it's just such a fun time.
One of the things that you do, which I think is a really neat idea, is that you have these neighborhood parties. Or tell me a little more about what that is.
Well, we kind of unofficially call them the neighbor parties, but we do them for each floor in the kitchen on that floor, like I said, and I think the residents enjoy the smaller group and just the kind of cozy atmosphere they provide, and they, like I said, just like to sit and talk and get to know each other better that way.
Well, as you can see, I have a fantastic team, and without them, I could not do all these wonderful things, and I really enjoy being with each of them, and we have a lot of fun. We get together, we plan activities, we figure out what lunch trips we're going to go on, as well as what themes of parties we're going to have. So it's just a lot of fun, and we really do get along really well together. So I feel very fortunate, and I think the assisted living residents are very fortunate to have all of you. So I thank you. And I know the residents do as well. And we look forward to having a lot more fun activities planned for Kings Crown, the Arbor, and for the Springs. So stay tuned. You're going to hear a lot more fun things that are happening.
Let's find out what fun stuff we have planned for this Monday, starting out with a preview of this week's Channel 13 radio program, Listening to the Words.
The theme of this Valentine's Week Listening to the Words program is love. Love between married couples, between friends, love of our animal friends. Hear a beautiful description of the differences between women and men. Also a funny but loving 50-year relationship of a Fort Myers couple. Also a heartfelt remembrance of Pete Seeger. All that, and as always, a lot more, awaiting you on Listening to the Words. David Howenstein reminding you to tune in to your Shell Point Channel 13 any day this week for this special Valentine program.
Welcome to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chanley, and I'm here today with Bryce Clark, who's filling in for Leslie, and we're going to go over the activities for you today. We're going to start out with men's match play doubles tennis down at the Woodlands tennis courts. That'll begin at 8 o'clock. At 9:15, we have billiards in the Resident Activity Center. Also at 9:15, we have pottery that's with instruction available in the pottery studio down in the tunnel. Our last 9:15 activity is virtual bowling. That's also held in the Resident Activity Center. Then we'll move to 10 o'clock where Meet the Shell Point Gift Shop authors will be held. That'll be at the Resident Activities Center. Our Shell Point authors will be there for autographing your copies. At 10 o'clock we have men's match play doubles tennis. That's at the Woodlands tennis courts. Also at 10 o'clock, the Susie Q will be heading to Matanzas for lunch. Sign up is required for that trip. 10:30 is the time the Men's Disciple Bible Study Group will be in the game room of the Woodlands. At 10:45, table tennis with a clinic will be going on in the Tarpon Room. And our last activity of the morning is at 11:30. We have a Health Connections class, Agility and Flexibility. That's in the Health Club, and that's currently full. Now here's Bryce. He's going to tell you about the afternoon lineup.
Thanks, Bev. We'll start Monday afternoon at 12 o'clock with Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, there will be Scrabble in the Library Lounge. At 1:15, table tennis will be happening at the Tarpon Room on the island. At 1:15, tone chimes will be in the Osprey Room. At 1:30, Changing Horizons group will meet at the Behavioral Health Center on the second floor of the Medical Center. At 1:30, the Model Train Room will be open from 1:30 until 3:30 in the train room on the island. At 1:45, Health Connections will meet for Balance and Training Level 1 at the Health Club. At 2 o'clock, the Beady-Eyed Bead Group will meet in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. At 3 o'clock, the Health Connections will meet for Pilates Stretch at the Health Club. At 3:15, the Shell Point Singers will meet in the Choir Room at the Village Church. At 6:30, the Duplicate Bridge will meet in the Game Room at the Woodlands. And that concludes today's lineup. Thanks for joining Bev and I today.
Hello, I'm Teri Kollath with your Academy information for Monday. At 9:30, the Computer College Prep School continues in the Computer Center at the Woodlands. And at 10:15, Facebook Basics on the iPad continues in the Manatee Room at the Island. The Anatomy of Words class will meet at 10:30 in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and they welcome everyone interested in words. At 1:15, we have a how-to using Microsoft Word. This continues in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. I'd like to tell you about some new classes coming tomorrow. Professor Adrian Kerr will teach Hong Kong, Fragrant Harbor, and the Rise of the Dragon. And Penny Modridge of Nautilus and Bruce Findlay of Sundial will present a course on the iPad, Apps, Apps, Apps.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is turkey pot pie with buttermilk biscuits and fried green beans. The dinner special is home cooking night for $9.95, and the soup of the day is beef noodle. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy turkey provolone with roasted peppers, red onions, and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is New Orleans pork with red beans and rice and green beans for $8.25, and the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It's a privilege to welcome you today to Village Church Connections, and I am delighted to be here with a very special guest, Teri Kollath, who manages our Academy for Lifelong Learning here at Shell Point. And Teri, you are here because we are introducing something that is coming up later this spring that we are so very excited about. There have been a number of us from the community working on this project. Tell us a little bit about who's been working on it and why it's so important to us.
Oh, Glenda, I'm delighted to be here to talk with you about something we both are looking forward to. Women Who Dare to Believe is a follow-up to the Season of Praise concert last year. And so many of us were just mesmerized by these two women and kept thinking, oh, we wish we had more of them, we wish we had more of them. Then Women's Ministry apparently went to Dr. Sue Stranahan and said, how can we bring them back? And you all looked and found that they do conferences, and because the Academy of Lifelong Learning looks at the spiritual dimension of wellness with LifeQuest, we thought, well, the Academy could help to sponsor this. How wonderful that would be.
We've been meeting fairly regularly at this point, and as we all gather around the table and talk and we plan and look forward to this, the excitement is building, and we want to communicate that excitement to our residents here at Shell Point. Most of them received this flyer in the mail sometime in the last week that is giving more information about this Dare to Believe conference give us the dates for starters.
Sure. Dare to Believe, we're doing two things. It is a women's concert, but with our wisdom, we've decided to invite men to the first night because men and women will both enjoy the concert. And that takes place on Friday, April 4th at 7 p.m. in the church auditorium. Then the next day is a conference for ladies only. And we're so excited. We're going to have a workshop first thing in the morning, starting at 9 o'clock. We're going to have a break and then a 10:30 a.m. workshop, a catered lunch, and then a 1:30 workshop. So it's a full day of celebration of women who dare to believe.
It is. You mentioned the Friday night concert, and that will be a 90-minute presentation that is open to men, and we encourage men to join us for that. It's also a dessert buffet.
Yeah, that's another good
So
point.
it's going to be a little different than our normal concerts. It will be a very special evening. And then Saturday is an opportunity to grab your women friends and bring them with you for a day that should be challenging and refreshing and just feed our souls a little bit. And we have tried to keep the cost down to a bare minimum for this. We just want to cover our expenses because we want people to come.
And we have a large space, and we're encouraging, with this flyer, we're encouraging everybody in our community to reach out to the other faith communities they may belong to. They can contact you, the church, they can contact me. We'd be happy to provide flyers because we've got something great here. We want to share it with women all over our area.
Absolutely. And this is the first time that we've tried something quite like this. And we would love to get the word out and invite others to join us. There are 3 different options when it comes to registration. The first option is for Friday night only, and this will particularly pertain to the men.
Sure.
But if they want to come to Friday night and participate in the concert and the dessert buffet, the registration cost for that is $15. The registration for Saturday only, for women that may not be able to attend Friday night, and we certainly hope they can. Sure. But if they can only attend Saturday, the registration for all 3 sessions, the break, the catered lunch, is $35.
Fabulous.
But we do have a special package deal for ladies that want to do the whole weekend, the Friday night and the Saturday. They can save a little bit of money. The cost is $45.
Well, Glenda, I know you join me in saying that the whole package is an experience not to be missed. It was just electric. In fact, I have seen them before, and I cannot wait to see them again. And I've heard other people say the same thing. So to see the performance the evening before and then actually go through the workshop with these 2 amazing women the next day is a real privilege.
It is, and we will enjoy the fellowship of just women gathered together with a common bond, and I know we're excited about that. So get the word out and invite others to join you. Get your registrations in. You can do that through the Village Church. You can charge it to your ShellPoint account, or you can write a check. You can register online as well. We'd love to have you participate in this opportunity. Women Who Dare to Believe, April 4 and 5. Teri, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Glenda, and thank you for everything you've been doing to make this happen for all of us.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as Herb Sklar shares a new art form in the Academy, palette knife painting.
We'll also reminisce about the Beatles, who first debuted in America 50 years ago. ShellPoint residents will share their memories on tomorrow's show.
Until then, this is ShellPoint Today for Monday, February 10th. I'm Kara Minowie.
And I'm Dan Philgreen. From all of us here at ShellPoint TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.